welcome back to Angel Angela. And excuse my mirror, you guys, I keep getting a car wash, but you know, I'm up in these hills, so my windshield keeps getting dirty and dusty. But I just wanted to make a quick video on how the narcissist is jealous of you. The narcissist is jealous of the empath. The narcissist is jealous of your emotional intelligence. Have you guys ever heard the quote, you know, behind every successful, and excuse the bottles. Have you guys ever heard the quote, behind every man there's a woman behind every successful man, basically, right? And that's because women, at least not all women, but a lot of smart, emotionally intelligent women, emotionally intelligent, who know how to control their emotions. See, when you can't control your emotions, you can't make logic choices and you cannot use your intuition properly. But once you've mastered that, you are a danger to the narcissist. The narcissist doesn't want to be around you. See, they were using your powers, your energy. They were using your intelligence, your emotional intelligence. They were using your empathy. You were guiding them. You were like a guide, and you were like a protection to them. You were protecting them. You were protecting them from their karma. And this is why a lot of times it hits you, because you were basically taught not to protect ungrateful people that don't lack emotions. Because if they don't lack emotions, then they have a decrease in emotion. They have a decrease in emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, that's what really helps you become a boss, a good boss, or someone who's going to thrive. If you notice, a lot of narcissists, they'll have a woman with them that's helping them run their business. They can't do that shit alone. They need the woman not only for the intelligence, not only for the intuition when it comes to certain business deals, but you know, they need them also for the loyalty. They know that woman's gonna be loyal. They're not gonna betray the narcissist. The narcissist knows how to pick an empath compared to the Jezebel spirit. Sometimes they don't settle with the Jezebel spirit. Sometimes they settle with the empath because they already know what the Jezebel spirit is gonna bring, which is destruction, which is, you know, arguments and stress and shit that is gonna make them not focus on what they need to focus on, because it's already hard enough for them to focus. It's already hard enough for them to try to study people. What they do, because they don't have emotional intelligence, is that they repeat the things you say to them and they try to decipher what you said to them. Because a lot of times, if you pay attention to certain narcissists, when you get mad at them, they're only gonna take a couple of things out of what you said to them, meaning that whatever offended them, that's what they're gonna bring to your attention. They're not gonna hear none of the empathy, all the stuff that they should have empathy for. You can tell this person, you know, I'm over here working like a slave for you, doing all this, and the only thing they're gonna get is, you said that I called you a slave, and I would never call you that. And now that gives them a reason to go and tell somebody else that you said that they called you a slave. That's where the lack of emotional intelligence comes in. And you almost think they're fucking around, or they're playing. You're thinking they're playing, and they're looking at you dead in the eyes with their evil stare. And they're like, I'm not playing. I'm serious. You got me mad. You got me upset. And then now, if you tell them, you're only picking bits and pieces of what I'm telling you, you're not hearing me all the way out. You know, if you say anything to them to make them feel like they're stupid, now what you're going to do is you're going to piss them off some more. Now they're really mad, right? So narcissists need your emotional intelligence, but a lot of times when they feel like they outsmarted you, they'll start treating you like you're the dumb one, and you're almost watching this person and you're like, this person thinks I'm dumb, and I know I might be dumb to be sticking around, but they're not seeing that they can't see or read between the lines that I'm not as stupid as they think. It's just that I have the emotional intelligence to see that there's something wrong with you. You're in pain, you're hurt, you're insecure, you're a jealous person, you're a hater. We can see everything of what you are and what you're doing to us. Our emotional intelligence is what is telling us, what is picking at what is happening, and you're studying everything detail by detail. And a lot of times you could say you're staying because of the trauma bond, but I don't think that it's just the trauma bond why the empath stays. I feel like the empath, because you do have emotional intelligence, you also like to study and read people. So you're trying to study the emotional intelligence of the narcissist. Like, how far can you go? How deep can I get into your mind to understand why you are this way while you're abusing me? You're almost studying their behavior, you're studying their anger, and then you stop and you think, this motherfucker is like a kid, like a child, right? And you'll say something to them about that, maybe. You'll probably tell them, hey, you have the emotional intelligence of a child. And they're kind of like, so what? I don't care. I don't listen. I don't like to be told what to do, even if it's in my benefit. You could tell the narcissist, like, look, shit is not going to be peaches and cream if you leave me. Like, you might think it is because you've been around me long enough to where I've gave you so much energy. But one thing that I've learned about you is that you're not consistent, or if you do get in a position where it's going to benefit you, you're going to mess it up because you're going to get too arrogant. You're going to start giving free shit away just so that you can get Jezebels and empaths as supply. They'll start trying to get people as supply, and they're so busy trying to impress people, impress their friends, and you're trying to tell them, hey, let's do this thing together. There's no point on impressing those people. Let's focus on the bigger picture. The narcissist has fantasies of being rich and wealthy and all that shit, and they want it the easy way. And you're like, you can't get it the easy way. You can, but you might have to do stuff that's not going to benefit you, right? But the narcissist is like, I don't care. I'm willing to sell my soul. I don't care who I hurt. I don't care if I hurt children, if I hurt your mother, your grandmother. I don't care if I hurt my own kids. This person feels like, when I get wealthy, I'll just make it up to everybody because I'm going to be wealthy. And not only that, I'm going to let time pass by, and eventually you guys are going to be mad of my success. It's like they're super delusional. You're going to be mad at my success, and you're like, how are you going to be a successful person if every time something happens, you're dropping your emotional baggage on me, and you're trying to, it'll be times, like, for example, it'll be times where the narcissist would talk about their coworkers, and they'll kind of be like, I think my coworker doesn't like me because one minute they're being nice to me, the next minute they're not really talking to me, they're quiet. And I'm like, well, people be going through shit. Like, people don't take it personal like that. I'll start to think like, shit, do you have a crush on your coworker? Why are you so worried about how people are viewing you? It's because they constantly got to put a mask, and they're constantly studying people, and they're studying how those people are viewing them. They're constantly worried about how people are viewing them, and then you're kind of like, just be yourself. And the narcissist is like, I am being myself. This is who I am. I don't need your advice. So now it's like They're acting like your advice didn't mean shit, but they know they took your advice. They didn't take it personal, right? Because you told them. And now they come home and now they're friends with their coworkers and they're sitting here, oh my God, there's potholes everywhere. Sheesh. So now they're acting like your advice didn't mean shit. And that's part of the narcissist tricks, because they don't have emotional intelligence. They feel like I didn't emotionally connect to what you told me. I just stole information from you. But because I'm not emotionally in tune, I can't even be grateful for the information you gave me or give you any type of props or anything like that, right? I can't give you nothing. I don't owe you shit because I already knew this information. I was just kind of releasing my anger or my frustration on not being able to know what's going on these people's minds, right? So that's one example that I'm giving you guys of what I feel like I dealt with when I was dealing with the narcissist. Meanwhile, they were teaching me also about myself. I feel like the reason I stayed around the narcissist also for a long time is because, like, my emotional intelligence wanted to understand them to the very end, to that extent. And what's crazy is that the narcissist wants you to understand them too. They want you to fix them. They want you to fix them. And while you're fixing them, like Harley Quinn, you've allowed that person in your mind because you're sitting there trying to teach them shit. You can't teach these people nothing, because then they steal your information, and now you've went in circles trying to correct the information that you went in circles with them trying to correct all of their false allegations, all of their false shit, the shit that they make up, that you confuse yourself. And you start to question certain things because the narcissist is basically gaslighting you, telling you that your information is wrong while they're stealing your information, and they're making you lose faith in the things that you had faith in while they're taking your faith. And without faith and without hope, you don't have shit. So they take that away from you, right? And you get to the point where you're like, well, what's the point on using my emotional intelligence? That shit got me nowhere but hurt and used and betrayed. But it's kind of like going into a job and you don't know that you're being watched and you do certain shit and then you get got, and then you're like, oh, I got fired and I don't know why I got fired, but it was something that you did. It was something that you did. You must have made a comment that someone could have been a narcissist, and you made a comment and they took something out of that comment you made. They took something instead of understanding your joke or your sense of humor or what you were trying to express. That's why you learn, hey, I need to study people before I start talking, right? Or I need to not make myself too comfortable because I'm being put through a test. In my 90 days, they're trying to see if I'm a thief and I'm all these things. The narcissist doesn't have the emotional intelligence to understand these things. So a lot of times, and it's not just the narcissist, even people, sometimes your upbringing, certain people didn't teach you things, or you think you could get away with stuff because the narcissist has been telling you that they get away with shit, but they've already been in their job for a while and you just started that shit. So it's not the same. You can't get away with shit when you're being monitored and watched. So certain narcissists might not have that emotional intelligence, and it becomes frustrating because they got to keep restarting over and over again. And when they restart, they get so frustrated that they'll even feel like they need to get a new supply because they feel like idiots. They feel like, damn, I really messed this shit up. I really fucked someone's life up with my delusional self. They know what they be doing. They play stupid. They know but it's not until it's over that they finally understand what they did to you. It's not till it's over that you finally understand what the narcissist did to you. You're studying them, but while you're studying them, they're taking parts and pieces of you. So then you start to realize, damn, I can't really give people information. I really can't help nobody. I really can't help them, because when I help them, they're taking energy from me, or they're making me second guess certain things because they're not telling the full story. They're only taking bits and pieces. And as here I am trying to put the pieces together to false information while my energy is being taken away and I'm being made to believe things that aren't true. So now my emotional intelligence is not in tune anymore because you're making me believe something that's not true. And my emotional intelligence is saying, whatever you're telling me, it's going against what you're saying. It's the opposite of what you're saying. My emotional intelligence is telling me you're lying. My emotional intelligence says something's missing. But the narcissist is like, no, this is how that person really did me. And you get to thinking, okay, maybe shit like that really happens. I can't trust no one, or everyone is like that, or people do weird shit just to do weird shit, and you stop having faith and hope in everything, sometimes including God. You're like, maybe I'm an atheist just like the narcissist. They don't believe in God. Maybe they're right. Maybe this is just animal nature. But you witness certain miracles. You know that certain enemies got their karma right in front of your face. Certain things happen at the perfect timing. So even in nature, there's a God moving through nature too. There's a higher source that is guiding you and helping you so that you have another day to live. Your emotional intelligence is telling you that you are being protected, that you just have to make the right choices. So the narcissist takes your choices away. They get you emotional, they get you angry, they prey on your emotions, and they get you out of balance just like them. They start making you act crazy because that's how they really feel in their mind. They feel crazy in their head. They're anxious, they're stressed, they're repeating conversations and things that happened or things that they did or why they messed up certain things, and then they get angry. Like the Grinch, when the Grinch was like just having conversations by himself, and there was times where he was pissed off. I'm gonna get breakfast. It was certain times where he was just pissed off, and he's like, you're ugly, and the echo is like, you're ugly. They'll start saying things about themselves and their self-esteem. They'll bring their own self-esteem down, and when they do, and you're like, what's wrong? And you're trying to make them feel better. You're trying to figure out what's going on, what they're thinking. Now they're lashing out. They're projecting their inability to tap into their higher intelligence. So they're projecting that hate onto you. Just like they'll project their traumas and shit onto you, and it don't even make sense. They could keep saying, oh, I did people wrong because of this or because of that or because my parents used to argue all the time. They could say all that shit, but it's something about their emotional intelligence. Your emotional intelligence is what allows you to make certain choices. It's what allows you, it's like even in animals, certain animals can attack each other. Or they can look at that other animal and say, if we end up fighting, it's going to start war. If I fight with you, it's going to start war. It's going to start war with our families, or we're going to fight to the death. That's why I always say, that's why you don't put your hands on people, because that person, one, they're always going to remember. They're always going to remember. And two, you hit somebody, it almost feels like you're trying to kill me, like you want to kill me with your bare hands. That's really what you want to do. you know? So your emotional intelligence will see through certain situations and navigate and say, I could go toe to toe with this person because I know I got it in me, right? Especially when you're younger, you know, your emotional intelligence is out of whack. The narcissist cheats on you. You over there trying to fight the girl. You know, your emotional intelligence is very low. Your emotions are everywhere. You're fighting. You're trying to fight the other person. You're not even mad at the narcissist. You're more mad at the other person. Your emotional intelligence is not balanced. Once your emotional intelligence grows and you start to understand the bigger picture, now you can make a logic choice, you know, not just using your mind, but also using your emotional intelligence. You're using all of your mind. You're using your whole brain. You're using different parts of your brain, and now you're deciphering, hey, no, I've already been through this situation. This situation was created to triangulate me. Now you're like, I wouldn't put myself in that situation. If a person ever cheated or did something to me, that's between me and them. That other person got nothing to do. I don't got no reason to talk to them. That other person ends up pregnant, has children, that don't got nothing to do with me. My situation is with this person. They made their bed, they need to lay in it. You make more logic choices than when your emotions are everywhere, because now the narcissist can have your emotions everywhere, and now they're sitting here telling you, oh, this person I cheated on you with, they don't have a place to live. They're going to come in and move in with us. I'm not with them. I'm with you. They could say anything to you and you probably go for it because you're not in tune with your emotional intelligence. It's unbalanced. Once it's balanced, narcissists can't really prey on your emotional intelligence, and they won't want to be around you because they know they can't fucking play games with you. You outgrew them. They're still a kid. You outgrew them now. You don't react to them. Now you went from being an extrovert, now you're an introvert. You could be extrovert sometimes when you feel like it, but for the most part, this person drained you from you fought so much. You fought so much, you ain't got it in you to fight no more. You're looking at the whole situation and you're like, you're not worth fighting for. You're not worth my energy. You're not worth me throwing up hands or none of that. You're not worth my emotional intelligence. You're looking at them, they want to argue with you. You're looking at them, you're turning your head. You're like, I don't even want to make eye contact with you. You're beneath me. And they're looking at you like mad, like you ain't shit, right? But I am shit, because I got enough